Hi, I'm Alex.
And I'm Courtney.
And this is Queens of the Paddock, an F1 podcast.
Woo woo!
And today we're talking about McLaren. But before we get jumped into McLaren, I'm just excited that we're here together.
I know.
And we have like a new setup.
Yeah. Well, we have the flag now. We got the on-air sign fixed that I knocked off in our first episode. And now we got like the full setup, new mics.
We have an amp.
Yep.
Our friend Kyle, who we met on YouTube.
Yeah, shout out to Kyle.
Shout out to Kyle. I'll have to link his video.
Yeah, for sure. It seriously helped us like so much.
Yeah,
so.
Because we did not know how to set these microphones up, but we got them done now.
Yep.
So
we're good to go.
We're good. I'm like thinking like there's been a lot of news and stuff that's come out, but I'm like, I can't even think of any of the news. And I feel like we have so much stuff on McLaren.
I was about to say, well, first of all, we have a release date on Drive to Survive.
Oh, yeah.
New season, new release date.
We're excited.
We are. So look forward to all of the episodes on kind of what our thoughts on all
Right.
that.
Yeah. We need to do like recaps.
I know. What is
Drive
it?
to Survive.
February 24th.
24th. Yeah. Mark your calendars.
Yeah. Get ready to binge.
Ooh.
God.
We're excited.
It's going to be, that's going to be a
good.
problem.
It's going to be a good season.
I was going to say, but you're a night owl, so I feel like you're going to stay up and watch it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to be struggling behind in the morning.
Well, I hope they release all of them at the same time. Because, like,
isn't that a Netflix thing?
No, because Netflix now, like, okay, this weekend.
Oh, I was going to say, except for the Prince Harry thing.
Yeah.
That was
like,
the first time.
Doing that. With all of the stuff that's, like, really anticipated, they'll release, like, half of it.
Oh, that's going to piss me off.
And then they, like, make you wait for the rest. And, like, I was watching, which, oh my gosh, it's out. I need to watch that. The Circle.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's trash TV. It's
okay. I'm like, I have no idea.
So Dustin hates it. He was hunting this weekend.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to watch The Circle. Like, the new season's out. So I watched the whole thing. And then, like, there was no more episodes. And I was like,
what do I do?
Who won the Circle? Like, what happened? And then it was like, oh, like, the final stuff is going to be premiered on the 18th. So I need to go back and watch it.
I'm not going to like this. This is going to make me real upset with Netflix, because that's the one thing I love about Netflix is you can just binge the whole
watch it.
thing.
Yeah, and so I don't want to wait. We've been waiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Waiting.
We
were like, didn't you like send me a little countdown thing when the season ended to like the next season or whatever?
Oh, I have it on my phone. Literally, it's on my lock screen. Alex, month and like, 13 days.
You need to share your little
lights out
and see. She's got the speedometer going.
Yeah.
So wait, is that to the release of Drive to Survive, or
that's
to
till like the actual season starts?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Susie did not.
Oh, I know.
Literally, I know. Like principal, I was like, I know. So
see, I was so disappointed.
I was like, literally, I saw this post on Instagram, and I'm just like, what is like? This is
not the post that we agreed to post.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not the decision that we signed off on.
Like, I was really looking forward to having like a female like powerhouse.
I know.
You know,
I know, and that was such a missed opportunity. I really feel that it was a missed opportunity.
Really do. I totally agree.
Maybe somewhere down the road there's a space for that. But we try to manifest it and everything.
Well, but wait, Alfa Romeo still doesn't have a
Susie.
Maybe we're manifesting that.
maybe that's your spot.
Maybe. But
I will say we got like half of it right, because what's his name? James Wolff?
Yeah.
No. Volts?
Yeah, I think,
something like that. Yeah. It's not Wolff.
Yeah.
It's Toto's brother.
Yeah. Or sibling. Or not sibling, uncle.
Right. But he did come from Mercedes.
Yes, he did.
So we got that part right.
We did get that right, but not that part Susie. Right. Sorry. Okay. So we've got that in news.
We have that.
But let's talk McLaren.
Yeah. We have a lot of information on McLaren.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a long one.
And I'm like,
everybody let me bring the long haul.
Because there's a lot of good information.
Well, and I was about to say, I feel like now we're getting into the teams. The juicy. We're in the meat now.
We're getting into like the top teams.
We're taking the first slice.
Yeah.
That's my view right now.
Right.
We're not in the core of it, but the first slice.
That'll be in a couple episodes. But no, we're getting to like this is the front of the grid. This is like the
This is, like, to me, the grid.
Yeah.
Like,
these are the ones that everyone came for.
Yes. Everyone spent all their money, like, for the whole year on sporting events to go to an F1 race.
Right.
These are the ones.
These are the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so McLaren. They ended up what?
Fifth.
Okay.
Fifth.
So solid middle.
Yes. Yeah.
But a good, like, I feel like there's a big difference when you go Alfa Romeo to McLaren.
Oh, yeah. That's like a huge jump. And then, I mean, I was even surprised, like, Alpine beat them out, which we'll talk about Alpine.
Oh, I know.
But, so McLaren didn't have a great year this past year. But it wasn't terrible. I mean, 5th place, it's not bad.
And Lando had some really good, like, runs, I felt like. You know?
Super promising.
I know. And it's hard because you look at McLaren's car, I feel like last year compared to this year.
Right.
Night and day different. Like, I think if Lando had the car he had last year, it would have been a very different conversation.
Year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Daniel, who I love, but he just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
So, it's okay. But okay, so they are actually the 3rd most successful F1 team behind Williams and then Ferrari.
Which was shocking to me.
Yeah.
I guess I just didn't think back.
Right.
Just like I also didn't realize that Hamilton drove for them.
Yeah, drove for them. Yeah, he started off with them.
I guess my brain just always goes Mercedes with him.
I know, because he's such a Mercedes guy now. It's like, but he was with them for a long time. I mean, Yeah, so he was with them for several years. But okay, so they've been a team since 1966. They're the 2nd oldest team, so Ferrari's the oldest team.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they've been like I really want to say one of the few that like have always been like, it's always been McLaren.
Yeah.
Like same with Ferrari, like it's always been known as Ferrari. And then Williams, I think, is the only other one. But every other team has been like
kind of newer or changed.
Right. And then changed names. And then it was this and then it was that. And that's what makes it so hard to like research these. Cause I'm like, hold on, I need like a map. Like,
well, yeah, it's like, okay, it was this. And now I need to search all under this name.
Right.
And then search this way. And then this way.
Yeah. So it's like a big tree. But so they've always been McLaren. They've had some huge names, like you mentioned, Lewis Hamilton, Senna drove for them. Mika Hakkinen drove for them. Who else do I have on here?
And now I want to say huge name is Lando. I feel like he's got, like,
Lando has such a, like, he's got such a bright future.
Yes. And he's just, there's something about him. It just, like, I think it's the energy with him.
Oh, yeah.
Know,
He definitely has an energy. Yeah.
You know?
And we're big Lando girls.
Yeah, I
love
do.
Lando.
He's just cute to me.
He's like the little brother. He gives me little brother vibes. He reminds me of my nephew, Rylan. Like,
oh, totally.
He does. And, like, even, like, the way he looks and stuff, too, I'm like, oh, my God, it's Rylan.
But I think it's the hair. It's, like, the kind of, like, a bit shaggier.
It's, like, a little bit curly.
Yep.
Oh, so cute and sweet.
Okay. So, back to the team. So, they're the 2nd oldest team.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty successful.
Yes. Yeah. So, how many championships? I
think 8. No, 8.
So, they have 6 with Senna, Prost, Niki Lauda, right? Okay.
8
and then 2 more. Yes,
yeah,
right.
So
2 more.
8 constructor championships and then 12 drivers.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean,
it's a lot.
I was surprised to hear that like they had that many, especially when you think about Hamilton with Mercedes.
Yeah, and how successful that's been.
Yeah.
But so, and like, we'll get to that, or we can just jump to it now, but like everyone thought that Hamilton was crazy for leaving McLaren whenever he did to jump to Mercedes, because Mercedes was a fairly new team, which we'll talk about that in the Mercedes episode. But like he left, you know, this McLaren team that was so successful to go to like a new team. Like I think Mercedes had only been around for a couple years.
Yeah, but at the same time, sometimes I feel like you just have this feeling that you feel like this could be
this
is going
to be the move.
Yeah.
But, okay, so McLaren, they were founded by Bruce McLaren back in 1966, and he actually was a driver. Like, he drove for another team.
Okay.
And then worked up and started McLaren, like, himself. Mm-hmm. And he was super involved with everything, and he actually passed away, I think in, like, 1970. He was driving and was in, like, a testing accident and passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
which, I mean, I don't want to say makes sense, but at the same time, when you look at like all the safety back then versus now.
Oh yeah, no, there were so many more accidents and like so many like crazy things that were going on. Like,
oh yeah,
it was not uncommon for people
to die.
Mm-hmm. So crazy.
Yeah, I mean, compared to now, like we think of like we talked about Joe's accident on the last episode. Was the last episode or 2 episodes ago? But anyways, we were talking about how crazy that was,
right?
And then now, like if you look at the vehicle now, you walked away like no scratches.
Yeah, you just walked off. But that would not have happened. No, because with the halo and all the stuff that they've added, like it's made it so much safer.
Yeah,
but it's still like dangerous.
I mean, you're still going close to
they're
200 miles
to survive.
Oh, Alex,
totally. But okay, so after Bruce McLaren passed away, then they merged with Ron Dennis, who was like their main guy, like back in the 80s, and he was leading the team. And they had this really successful run where they won championships and drivers' championships, and they were just doing a great job.
Okay.
So then that all came to like a halt whenever they were involved with Spygate.
Oh, God.
Which is like, I love a good conspiracy and I love a good drama.
Oh, I know. It's like Watergate, Spygate.
Yeah.
What was the one we talked about? Crashgate. Yes.
If it's got a gate on the end, like you know it's going to be top-notch drama. For sure. But so,
oh gosh,
during Spygate, what had happened is that one of the mechanics or somebody that worked on the Ferrari team was like upset with Ferrari and didn't like what was going on over there. And he was basically like on the outs. And I think he like knew that.
Okay.
And so he gave like all these classified documents. There was like almost 800 pages of Ferrari like information that was like super, you know, top secret, confidential, like how they're building their car, like what the strategy, like I don't know what all was in there, but it was a lot of information.
Yeah.
So he gave it to a guy at McLaren who, let me get the names, hold on. So Nigel Stepney was the Ferrari employee.
Okay.
And then it was Mike Coughlin, who was the McLaren employee.
Okay. But do they not have like NDAs back then?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure, but he was like, he pissed off. Like he was mad at Ferrari. So he was like, I don't care. Like screw everyone. I'm giving them all this documentation.
But I guess it's just so different now. I mean, you would just be.
Well, yeah, no, but so to me, the crazy thing about this was like, okay, well, let me back up. So Mike Coughlin gets all this documentation of secret Ferrari information.
Okay.
And somehow gives it to his wife to, like, back in the day, and this was in 2007.
Okay, so this is, like, more recent. Like, technology is what it is. It's not like, you know...
Like in the 1980s.
Where you've got, like, a stack of 80 pages.
So even so, though, right? Like, and then it makes you think about, like, where technology has come. So she took the stack of documents.
Okay.
And went to, like, a Kinko's,
I was about to say
like a FedEx, like whatever. And she was like, I need to make copies of this. And so she goes to the Kinko's. We'll just say it's a Kinko's. I don't know. The print shop, whatever.
Well, Kinko's is so 80s to me versus FedEx is very 2000s.
Right. So maybe it was a FedEx office.
Well, but I thought he gave the documents in the 80s.
No, he gave it like right then.
Okay, right then in 2000. Oh.
Yeah. So she shows up at this print store, the FedEx office. And she hands over the stack of documents to the person working at the print store, and she says, I need copies of this. Oh. And so the guy that's working at the print store happens to be a Ferrari fan.
No way.
Yes, happens to be a Ferrari fan, and is like, this is highly classified Ferrari documents. Like, who is this lady, and why is she in my print store trying to make copies of this?
And I'm about to make bank. That's literally what he's probably thinking. He literally
called up the Tifosi and was like, no, he did. Like, he called Ferrari, somehow got to whoever, and was like, I need to report something. Like, this is shady.
This is fraudulent.
Yeah,
like,
this is fraudulent behavior.
Fraudulent. It's like...
it's suspect.
Yeah. For sure.
At the very least. Very suspect. So, he raises the red flag.
So, he was a whistleblower.
Yeah. On this lady.
Okay, first of all, did this happen in the U.S. or?
No. This was like in Europe somewhere. Like,
I'd be real curious
the print shop was like in, like, and don't quote me on this, but I want to say it was like in London or like in the UK somewhere.
But I would be curious though on their rules of like whistleblowers and all of that.
So funny thing is like once this all like got out and like Ferrari found out about it and like they literally pressed like legal charges.
Oh, absolutely.
Against their employee. And then also too, I think against
probably now their ex-employee at that point.
At this point, yeah. And so they literally like took this to court. Like this was like a court issue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So did they win?
So what happened was they first like they did their first investigation and they asked, of course, McLaren, like, did you have this information? Like, did you use this information to do anything to your car, whatever, blah, blah. And McLaren, who at this time it was the Ron Dennis guy, and so he was like, no, absolutely not. This is an isolated incident. Like, the employee was the only one that had it, which was the Mike Coughlin guy. And so he was like, no, like, he didn't share this information with anybody, like, whatever. So then at that point, they were like, okay, isolated incident, like, it's fine. Everyone's going to move on, yada, yada, whatever. Well, then Ferrari was like not satisfied with that.
Well, absolutely not.
And then the year that this was happening, it was Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso.
Okay.
And McLaren was in first place in the Drivers' Championship. And then I think like Lewis and Fernando were like 1-2 in like the drivers. And like Ferrari was up there, but like McLaren was beating Ferrari out. And so Ferrari was like, no, like they've used our information to like improve their car and like this is not fair, whatever. So then the FIA went to the drivers and like the team people that were involved and they were like, hey, look, like we're going to offer like leniency, like if you give us or like tell us any information that you have and like it's never going to come out like who said what or what was said or whatever. Right. But like we want to know the truth, like has this information been used? And so no one knows who said what or what was said or what was shared. But then all of a sudden now the FIA had like email documentation of like that yes, this information was used and they did use it in the construction of the car and like they used it to their advantage.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And it's all about money. If you win, it's money.
Yeah.
So in their minds, they're just going to try and not get caught.
And I'm sorry, that would be really hard. Like if I'm McLaren and I'm like trying to win a championship and someone just shows up with their Kinko's box of like all these documents.
Kinko's.
I'm going to look at it. By the way. I'm going to look at it. Oh, yeah. You know, like who's not, I mean, come on.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying you're never going to glance. I mean, I'm not saying there's not those kind of people in the world.
Sure, there are.
They're very straight.
But I don't think any of them work in F1.
Probably not. No. Because again, it's about winning.
Yeah.
And money.
Yeah.
And winning gives you money.
Right.
So.
Right. So anyway, so they got email stuff like saying like, yes, it was used. And so after that, they went back and said, okay, McLaren's in big trouble. Like, you guys are in big trouble because this is totally against the rules. Like, you're not supposed to do that. So they slapped them with what is not only the largest fine in F1, but the largest fine in all of like sports history.
Really?
Yeah.
Even more than like, you remember back in the day, there was all those scandals about like, was it basketball or somebody was throwing games?
Like with the refs and stuff?
Yeah, well, the refs, but the players were throwing games because they were betting on it and things like that. I mean,
I don't.
We need to ask our husbands.
Yeah, we'll fact check that.
Yeah.
But
this is Editing Alex, and I fact checked, and it is actually the largest fine in all of sports history at $100 million. What Courtney's talking about is the referee Tim Donahue that got caught throwing the basketball games. And there's actually a Netflix show on this. So might have to watch that and check that out. Okay, bye.
Yeah. But I think it's $100 million that they were fined.
$100 million.
Dr. Evil. No, but seriously, I mean, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so then they were also the team was disqualified from the Constructors' Championship for that year.
Okay.
And then also the following year.
So time out. This was all while Hamilton was on there?
Yes. Well, Hamilton and Fernando.
No wonder why Hamilton wanted to leave and go to Mercedes then.
Right. Which is,
he didn't want to be caught up in all of this drama.
Yeah.
He wanted to win championships.
Yeah.
And if you're
like,
disqualified,
this is drama. You guys are stealing information. Maybe he's the only one that has the higher moral ground to be like,
well, I don't know if it's the higher moral ground. I think it's more of, I want to win a championship, right. And if this team's going to be disqualified, then I can't win that championship. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So they get disqualified from the constructors, but the drivers are still allowed to compete and be in like the drivers' championship.
Yeah, but still, it's all the drivers' championship is important, but it's the winning team, right. It's the culture, right. It's the whole thing. So my little conspiracy thought about that is that I think that Fernando tipped them off. Tipped who off?
Like the FIA, whenever they came and said, hey, like drivers, people on the team, whatever, like.
Why do you think it was Fernando and not Lewis?
Because he loves the drama.
Yeah, but Lewis, maybe back then he was the straight and narrow.
Well, at the same time too, like, so Fernando had joined McLaren. Lewis was like up and coming, like new driver, whatever, like young. And Fernando joined having already been like a champion winner and race winner and all of this, and then he kind of felt like they were treating him like second driver.
Oh, so you think
this is my conspiracy?
You think he's salty like the Ferrari guy?
Yeah,
they're both
I think
salty.
He was like, you know what? I'm gonna burn this down.
I'm gonna burn the
whatever.
Down.
Yeah. And then it's just Fernando Alonso, so that's like...
And technically in his mind, he probably didn't burn it down. In his mind, he just handed the FIA the match box.
Right. He was like,
here you go.
Here's some information.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not is your own business.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was just he was just offering it up. That's my
just
thought.
A silver platter.
No one said that. It's not written anywhere.
This is Alex's theories.
If I know Fernando Alonso, which I don't.
You wish.
I feel like that's something he would do. Because he loves the drama.
Oh, God.
Anyway. So
I love this, though. It's very similar to, like, kind of Watergate.
Yeah.
It's different. I mean, people broke
I say
in.
Yeah, and I'm like...
Do you even know what happened in Watergate?
I don't know anything about Watergate.
Gosh, never.
All I know about Watergate is that there's a scene in Forrest Gump that, like, is there not a scene in Forrest Gump?
I don't even remember.
And it's supposed to be like he was like involved with what? Oh my God! Don't quote me on any of this.
No, Watergate is essentially the president and his party broke into the other party's offices to steal information, and then they got caught. Okay. Like Watergate, it was like a building. It's a building.
Oh, it's a building.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's a whole movie on this.
I swear to God, I went to college and like I'm smart.
Gosh.
Even though I don't appear to be, it's fine.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so moving on.
Yeah.
So, okay. So after that point in time, basically, like, they basically had to clean house. Like, Ron Dennis was out. This Mike Coughlin guy obviously was out. Mm-hmm. So they had, like, a whole new fleet of people, essentially, like, running the team. And then they really struggled. Like, it kind of went downhill from that point.
Well, yeah. And it's also hard. Getting drivers to back, like, right. Behind all of this. And,
yeah. It's drama. So since that, like, their most recent win in, like, any kind of race in the past, like, 10 years was Daniel Ricciardo at Monza in, like, when was that? 2021 or something?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's their most recent win. Like,
But Lando's come close.
Lando's come close. Lando has not won a race yet.
But he's podiumed.
Yeah. So, and then, like, whenever Daniel won that race, Lando was second. So they did a 1-2. but yeah, I mean, so they're also involved with like a bunch of other, like Formula E and like rally car and all different kinds of stuff. Like they have a bunch of different teams. They have an esports team.
Okay.
And that, so like we'll segue into Zac Brown. So that's been a lot of Zac Brown's like doing.
Yeah.
Is like growing the brand and growing them in like the motorsports like arena, I guess.
Or industry.
Yeah. So Zac Brown, this is another one that I was like, I thought he was the team principal.
No, I knew that. He's like the CEO.
He's the CEO.
Yeah, he's I thought at one point he was the principal, and then he moved into the CEO role. But maybe I was wrong.
Totally might be true.
Like
totally.
I'm not sure, but I know for sure he was
like
the
he's
CEO.
like the face. Like whenever they show like on
McLaren,
the pit wall or whatever, and like he's always there. Like he's super present.
He's very involved.
Yeah,
for a CEO,
right? Mm-hmm. Oh, super. Like I mean, more so than like any of the other ones that you don't even like. I couldn't tell you who they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, but he's actually American.
Yes, I did know that.
And he's like, I feel like his goal for McLaren is to have it be almost like the American like F1 team, even though it's not American, but they have a ton of American fans. McLaren does.
I was about to say, I think all of the teams are trying to really bring this American side of it.
They're trying to get that market.
Who is it? Red Bull is doing their...
In New York.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So I just think I think everyone is trying to tap into this huge market that hasn't really been remotely, like, I don't even think the surface has been scratched yet.
And like, just think about all the fans, like the captive audience that's like sitting here like
us.
Like us.
Exactly. Like us. Like we're American.
Right.
And,
totally. So, okay. So he's American. He is actually a former racing driver, which was funny because if you see like Zac Brown, like he doesn't look like a racing driver.
I mean, not trying to be mean, but no, it's just not what I would envision.
Right. But like when we were in Coda, he drove like...
He did.
One of the, what was it? Like an older model, like car or something?
Yes, he did. When they did that race before.
Yeah, I think it was him and Mario Andretti, wasn't it?
Yes, I think it was the Andretti race.
It was the Andretti, you're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but okay, so he's been with the team since 2016.
Okay. So a good bit.
Yeah, and so he's been the CEO since 2018.
Okay.
And then, like we said, like he's, since that point, basically just tried to like grow their presence and like really focused on like the social media presence and focused on like attaining new drivers and like young talent. And it's almost like kind of a joke because like they kept on like, especially during like the silly season part of the year, like they were like, oh, we're announcing this driver. But he like on different, things that they do, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like on their rally car or whatever. So they have like a huge roster of like young talent.
Okay.
And that's one of his like main, like he really is into that.
To be honest, I'm always drawn to him just from Drive to Survive. I feel like he was so good at like introducing McLaren and showing everyone around the facility. And to be honest, their building is
gorgeous,
beautiful,
such a like, pretty building.
That drive with the water and then like the curve of the
it looks
out of
like
everyone's
like house.
Exactly.
Like,
I was about to say
out of his like lair.
Yeah, out of every team's like I would say office headquarters, like that team, McLaren's team. Like I just always remember that building.
I want to go there.
Well, maybe we should do a trip.
There.
Maybe we should do a Europe trip and like hit all the headquarters and do
that's like a tour
of all.
I would love that.
Okay,
would love that.
2024
bucket list.
Yeah, we got to do it next year.
Okay.
Done.
Deal. Okay.
And if anyone wants to give us any pro tips on that, we are totally down.
We're game.
Yep.
Leave a comment. Rate, subscribe. Okay, so being a businessman, he's also super focused on like all of their partnerships and like their brand sponsors and everything. So he's gotten like, I mean, they're sponsored by Google. They're sponsored by Android, like all these huge names. And then they also have that like Views, and it's like an e-cigarette, like vape thing. And do you remember they did one of the races, and they had like a special like design on the car, and it looked really cool. It was like this like kind of line art.
Yeah, but I still don't know how to feel about all of that.
No, I mean, I don't. But here's the thing: like, it went from like a lot of the sponsors in F1 being like tobacco, to now they can't do that, and so like they're
unless you're who did we
Mission One now, yeah. But like they're also doing like these, which is kind of weird, right? Like, because you don't usually see that.
No, you don't. I mean, you do, but you don't. Yeah, right. But so, I guess they'll take money from anyone,
right? And they absolutely will. And they're also sponsored by Dell. I mean, they have like these big
Dell
American
is like their
companies.
I was about to say Dell is like their big one, right?
Yeah, yeah. So they have like these huge American companies that are like sponsoring them.
I'm sure they threw a huge party then in Austin.
In Austin, I know. Yeah. So
really big sponsors,
huge sponsors.
Okay,
and like all these big American companies, which is great. So I mean, they've got a lot of
American unscratched, a lot of money to go around.
Right, exactly.
You know, just like we were talking Tesla. Someone needs
Elon.
I know someone needs to team up with Tesla.
You know, I went to the Tesla like headquarters.
Yeah. Because you guys,
customer.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. Like, it was like
fabulous.
I felt like an ant.
I felt like an ant.
I did. It was such a huge building. Anyways, okay. So outside of all of his business dealings and all of that, he's married. He has 2 sons. He's a huge car collector. And he's got all these classic cars. He's really, I mean, he's into like the motorsports.
I mean,
of it all.
I feel like everyone is.
Right.
Right. You know.
Yeah.
It'd be odd if you weren't.
Right. No, it would be. It would be weird if you were like, I'm really into like boats or like, you know, something completely different. But
True. Into the team principal for McLaren.
Right. And he's new.
Okay. This year or?
For this coming year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was Andrea Seidel, but then Andrea Seidel went to go be the CEO at Alfa Romeo.
Oh,
Sauber Alfa Romeo.
Okay.
Right. So they just announced recently their principal for next year is going to be Andrea Stella, which is like their names are so similar. Andrea Seidel, Andrea Stella.
Yeah.
But so Andrea Stella, he's Italian. He's been with the team since 2015. And he, like, Zach Brown, in his announcement of him, said, like, you know, he was the, I don't want to say default, but he was, like, the first option that came to mind.
Oh, absolutely. Like, they were grooming him for that.
Yeah.
Like,
and so he was in kind of, like you said, being groomed.
He was in waiting.
Right. Yeah. Right. So he's coming on. He's been with the team. He knows
Lando. He knows, But he knows how things flow and whatnot.
Right.
So it's not, like, a big shock.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So other than that, I'm like, what do we know about him?
Well, I guess to be determined this year.
Yeah.
His vibes. I don't know.
We don't know his vibes. We don't know his vibes.
I can't wait to hear his radio talk. And
I know.
Is he like a hothead or is he like cool?
I'm hoping he's a hothead because we need some more of that.
But I feel like McLaren doesn't put up with that.
Yeah, they're not really
They're a little more kind of like Mercedes.
Yeah.
A little... Like,
well, but I don't know. Toto can get
but not, like I feel like he doesn't get on the radio. He doesn't get like
he
that.
keeps it in the like they keep it professional.
Exactly.
They keep
until
it professional.
closed doors.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but okay. So only really thing about him is that he, was with Ferrari before he joined McLaren in 2015.
Okay.
And so he was there whenever Ferrari won championships with Michael Schumacher. So like that's another good thing about him. It's like he knows like how to be on a championship winning team.
Oh yeah.
So what it takes and all of that.
Okay.
But he says he's going to be very hands-on and he's excited. So we're excited.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yes. Okay, so moving on to the drivers.
Dun, dun, dun.
Drum roll, please. So we have Lando Norris, who's our little brother.
Yeah. And he's like probably one of your top favorite drivers.
He is. What about you?
Yeah, I would say he's probably top 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he might be my second favorite.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's a little, yeah. I don't know. I got to think
we'll
about
have
it.
to do like a rankings thing because I'm curious about like what your ranking is of people.
I know.
I think I know your number one.
Well, yeah, I think you do too. But so, okay, when we post the podcast, Alex is going to also post in this little clip.
Yeah.
We'll take everyone's little ticker and we'll rank.
Okay,
So,
I like
and
that.
that's going to be our big reveal. And then next episode, we can take a little bit of like discussion on it.
Yeah, I like that. Okay,
let's think on it.
Yeah.
So, and everyone can kind of guess, maybe.
Yeah.
And see like what we think.
We should guess each other's.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we're gonna rank it, and we're not gonna tell each other,
right?
And then we're gonna write down what we think each other's is,
yeah.
And I'll reveal it, and then whoever gets the most right buys, or the other person buys sushi.
Okay. Fair.
Deal.
Done.
Okay.
Shake on it. I love it.
See,
we're excited.
We're all about the competition.
We are.
Okay. Okay.
But okay, so Lando, one of our faves, he is 23 years old.
Oh, he's young.
Yeah, he's a baby, little brother.
Gosh.
He's tiny. He's so sweet. I act like I know him. But so he's a British driver.
Okay.
This is going to be his 5th year in F1.
All with McLaren.
And he's the whole time been with McLaren.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So he finished this past year in 7th place.
Which is pretty good.
That's good.
Like, he had a solid year.
He was 23.
Well, but not only that, but like there were so many races. He was just like the car. It was just the car.
Right.
If he had the car with everybody else, I really do think he would have been like a serious contender.
I think so.
And he's solid. Like if you see when he's placing, he's like placing between 4th and 6th consistently.
Really, I mean, he really is consistent.
Yeah.
Like up there in the points.
Yeah.
Unless if he's like some kind of mechanical error or whatever, like he's ending up in the points.
Yeah.
Like he does a good job.
Yeah.
But so a lot of people, like before we get into his backstory and stuff, but a lot of people think he's like overrated. And I'm like not one of those people because I'm like, no, I think he's
overrated
good. Like you
driving.
Said. Yeah. Like he's not as good as people make him out to be.
But I just wonder if you were to give him a different car.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about it, like last year and the year before, McLaren were really good.
Yeah.
Their car looked so good.
Right.
Not like look on the outside,
but like
it was performing.
Yeah.
And then this year, I feel like with all the changes,
yeah,
I think it was just a hard year for them.
Right. To get used to it and all of that.
That's why I'm interested to see, like, how does this year turn out?
I know. This is a big year for him.
Yeah, and especially with Ricardo gone, even though, like, off the track, I feel like they had such a great bond.
They did.
But on the track, I felt like they never meshed.
Right.
Like,
it wasn't, like, a good, like, team pairing as far as, like, two drivers.
Yeah, it's not like Max and Checo.
Right. Or Checo's, like, just
it's like,
the team player.
It's one for all for
yeah.
You know what I mean? Totally. So I just, and not that I'm saying Ricardo was like anti-team player. I'm just saying like it just never seemed
wasn't
like
that.
It wasn't the vibe,
connection.
The connection.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So no, we'll see how. I'm thinking that this is going to be the year for him where he's going to actually like win a race because he's not won a race like we said,
which is crazy to me because
it's crazy because he's gotten so close. But I think this is really going to be the year for him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to pull a win out.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, McLaren, it's not like McLaren makes all these terrible mistakes either.
Right. No, the strategy is good.
The strategy is good. And, like, I don't really see Lando making all these mistakes. And I would say, like, maybe he's a little overrated, but at the same time, who else are you going to pick?
Right.
Who are you going to say that is underrated that should be above him?
That's better, yeah.
Yeah. I mean... That's my view.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
Okay.
I'm really hoping that he does get a win or just more podiums in general.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite things about him is when he is on the podium and he has the big champagne, like, you know, they give him that big champagne bottle.
Yeah.
He literally jumps down from like the podium and slams it on the ground and like, use it, like, because that's what you should do.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
They give you this huge magnum of, like, champagne.
Does no one else slam it on the ground?
Not that I've seen.
Oh, see, now you're going to have a clip of this.
Yeah. he does it, and like I watched like a compilation of him doing that with champagne bottles, and one time he did it, he like on like asphalt, like
did the bottle not shatter?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was supposed to be like,
and he was like standing there like, it didn't work.
It's okay.
But that's also like his vibe. Like he's kind of like
he's
like a dork. I think he's dorky.
I think he is too.
I think he's major dorky.
Yeah.
But again, little brother vibes.
But he's not dorky in the sense, I mean, he is like full on DJ.
Yeah.
Vibes,
So outside of his racing, like he's a DJ, he's a photographer.
Oh, I didn't know photography.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like every time I think of him, I just always see him like in Ibiza.
Yeah.
Living the dream.
And then he's hanging out with like, and okay, like that's my favorite kind of music. So I see like he'll post pictures, and then like some of these DJs that I like also like and I'm a fan of, they'll be posting pictures, and I'm like scrolling, like zooming in. I'm like, that's Lando.
Yeah.
And so he'll be hanging out with Martin Garrix, like Zed, all these different DJs. You're like, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, I'm not into that scene, so
I think that's awesome.
I think it's fun though. I think it shows like a different side of him, that he's serious, but he's got this like fun, carefree.
He's just living life.
Yeah, he's 23.
He's 23 years old.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm an F1 driver, 23 years old. Like,
I'm gonna enjoy it. Good for him.
Exactly.
Good for him.
Might as well.
Because that's what he should be doing.
That's what I would be doing.
But okay, so his father is super rich.
So that's probably why he was easily able to do.
Yeah. So his father, I think at one point was like the richest person in Bristol, or like one of the richest people in Bristol. And he's like a money manager, like a retired money manager.
Okay.
His dad. But so that's how he had the money. He went up through karting, did all of this stuff.
Okay.
One of his main like inspirations of like why he started doing racing was Valentino Rossi, which is a motorcycle driver actually.
Okay.
But all of, you know how his helmets are always like neon,
and
like
fun,
yellow,
like a
and
basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rossi does that with his helmets.
Okay.
And so he's kind of like emulating that.
Well, yeah, especially if you like, maybe he's not his hero, but like that's someone you look up to.
He looks up to him, and so that was like his first like helmet designs were that, and then he's now always kept like that neon fluorescent yellowy color.
Oh yeah, and to be honest, when we're watching a race, that's how I know who Lando is.
Yeah,
I don't even look at the top where you know, like each driver has the different one's yellow, one's I think white or something like that. I don't even look at that because Lando.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he always has something
to me. I'm like, that's cool. Like, you need to have, like, it's part of your personal brand.
Oh yeah, but also
and I feel like he does a good job of that.
But it's your personal brand. But I feel like it's a way to make this piece of this crazy sport your own.
Right.
Like this is a way to bring yourself out.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Like I know Lewis. I mean, all the drivers I think kind of have something
on the side.
Does something, but. You know, I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. But okay, so we already talked, like, he does his DJing.
Yeah.
He started another Instagram page called Lando.jpg.
Oh, gosh.
And where he just posts pictures.
Of what?
Just random stuff.
Oh, fun.
But, like,
of his photography?
Yeah, so, like,
okay.
So it's, like, I think the description of the Instagram like page is like mostly all pictures taken by Lando himself. And so like he'll post pictures like behind the scenes and stuff on like the different weekends. And
it's fun. I like that. I need to follow.
Yeah, and like he does like little photo dumps of like whatever throughout the weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
He's also a huge gamer.
I feel like they're all gamers.
Yeah. It's like the younger ones, I feel like they're all gamers.
Oh, I feel like even the older ones. Yeah. I get vibes. Because, I mean, think about when you're there practicing.
Yeah,
I mean,
that thing is like that game. Sim.
Yes.
I mean, when you did it in Austin.
Oh, gosh, that was terrible. By the way, never let me drive an F1 vehicle because I
am pretty good. And then I was like, oh my God, you're doing good. And
then all of a sudden I was just all over the place. But it was actually really, really cool. Yeah. So if you ever get the chance to do one of the Sims.
No, you gotta take that.
Yeah, you gotta
take that opportunity.
It was great.
Although I didn't, because I was like, I have heels on and like a short skirt. Like it was not, I wasn't dressed appropriately.
Yeah, that's true.
It was fine.
I think, yeah. It's all fine. Okay. So is he also single, dating, what?
So before I get into his relationship, love life situation, he has like an esports team, and he also has an esports like brand called Quadrant.
Okay.
And like,
I want to say I've heard of that.
You probably have, because he's like, he promotes it, and they actually, McLaren lets him promote it on like, not every weekend.
Yeah.
But like he'll have like, usually like once a season has like a helmet that's like a Quadrant helmet. Mm-hmm. But they do like merch and whatever, and like they have their little esports team, and like it's a whole like brand that he's created, and like there's other people that are in part of it too that are like little esport driver people. I don't know. Anyway, it's a whole thing. Like he does a lot of stuff. The point is that he does a lot of stuff outside of racing. Okay. But like I think he still does a great job of racing. So it's not taking away from his performance.
But also at the same time, I think it's smart because racing isn't always going to be there.
Right.
So why not build all of these other things and like build your empire so that
around that.
Yeah. So that when one piece is ready to like move to the side, you still have this whole other
pie to eat from, essentially.
Exactly. And the checks are just still rolling
flowing.
In your bank account.
Yeah. But okay, so his relationship status.
Okay.
So this is one of my like favorite little stories. But okay,
story
time. He was dating this Portuguese model who's gorgeous. Her name's Luisa.
Okay.
And like she has a longer name than that. It's like Luisina Oliveira or something.
We're going with Luisa.
She's really pretty Portuguese model. So they were dating. They were super cute together. Like it was funny whenever they started dating because people were like had always kind of like, I feel like joked around with him or made fun of him because he was like this little kid, like, and they're all like grown men and like he's like, this little baby. And anyway, so he starts dating this girl. She's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. They're super cute. They're posting all the time. They're going on vacations together. It's awesome. Well, story is that when they were in Zandvoort.
Okay. Speaking of Zandvoort.
Oh, do you have your Zandvoort shirt on? Look at that. Courtney made this.
Yeah.
She's talented.
Sorry.
Super talented. We need to make like a Queens of the Paddock Etsy shop. And like you can make all the merch.
I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I'll make merch for you and I.
Okay. Fair. I'll take that.
Until the husband buys me a 10-needle monogram machine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, yeah, but then I don't have to keep changing all the colors and stuff.
Yeah, you can just set it to go.
Yeah. And you just put all of it.
I'm so impressed by you all the time with that. It's awesome.
You need to push him. Oh, see? Wife needs this.
Yeah. For your birthday.
Yeah. Birthday, anniversary.
Yeah, just pile them all together.
Pile it all together.
That's going to be the gift.
Yeah.
You need it. Okay, so they're in Zandvoort.
Okay.
And then it comes out, like all these DMs basically come out between this girl and Lando, and he's chatting with her. So the thing is, and like the rumor is that all of these guys, like they can't just get on like Tinder and like they can't get on like whatever. So they're on their Instagram, like essentially using that as like a Tinder situation.
Yeah, but at the same time, like women are just going to flood your DM.
Right.
So like it's just,
and also too, I'm like, Lando, you're dating Luisa, like she's gorgeous. Why are you DMing this girl and you're gonna die? You don't know this story.
I think I do. I know parts of it, not like the whole like shebang.
So he's DMing this girl and he's basically like, hey, like I'm in town, whatever. And then he invites her to come to his hotel to eat McDonald's.
I totally.
That is the kicker.
But at the same time, I love it.
I
love it though because it's not.
I kind of love it too.
I know it's not.
I love McDonald's.
No, but here's my thing. It's not like, oh, let me just wine and dine and throw all this money at you. Like, this is who I am. I'm gonna eat McDonald's. So you want to come over
in my hotel room?
Yeah.
Do you want to hang?
Yeah.
And that was it. That was the pickup line. Like, he was trying to get this girl to come hang out with him.
Question.
And he's like,
did she come?
I don't think so. I don't think she came. And then she proceeded to post these. And this is all internet rumor, internet gossip. So, like, it's not like he came out and was like, yes, I invited the girl to McDonald's. I invited a girl to my house, or my hotel room to have McDonald's while I'm dating this gorgeous model. Woman. And I'm so stupid. Like, why would I do that?
But you also are 23 years old. So we do stupid things then.
You're dumb. It's fine. Like, anyway. So the story is, like, this girl posts these DMs.
Okay.
He gets found out. And then Luisa's like, we're done. Bye. I'm better than this. Which, good on her, too. Yeah. Because, like...
I feel like some women...
whatever, like...
But some women would be like, oh, it's fine.
No. Luisa's like, I am not gonna look silly here.
Yeah.
We're done.
Well, yeah.
So then he posts this, like, basically, like, a notes app, like, thing on his story and was like, you know, we're broken up, like, whatever, give her space, blah, 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 like,
please respect,
you know, we're still friends, blah, 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 like, whatever. And then he proceeds to, like, he posted it, and then he left it up for, like, an hour, and then he deleted it.
Okay.
And then she never said anything about it. He never said anything about it.
But they're not together.
So, the story is they're not together. But then there's another whole, like, side theory conspiracy. That they faked this breakup.
For what?
Because Luisa was getting, like, to the point of, like, death threats from people on the internet.
Oh, gosh.
That are, like, Lando fans, and they were, like...
Want to be with Lando?
Yeah.
Like, psycho... Oh, God.
Psycho people were, like, you know, like, verbally abusing this girl.
Yeah.
Poor her. It's terrible.
Well, if that's the case, then all power to them for staging this breakup.
Yeah.
And, like, for him to be like, no, this is enough. Like, not
yeah, exactly. Like, if that's the case...
I'm down for it.
I'm down for it, too, because I think that was a very well thought out plan.
And honorable.
Yeah.
You know,
in order to save her from being, like...
And maybe they're not together because of that. Right. But it was like he didn't want to do that to her.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, even though you love someone,
right? He's like, you know what? We should not be together because you're getting all this hate.
Yeah.
What kind of, I guess, fuels that piece of it that they might still be together is that they both still follow each other, and they both still like she'll post pictures and Lando's liking them, and like he'll post.
Or are they just adults?
And that might be the case. Maybe they, you know, still are friends and they're cool with each other and it's fine. And
because, like, to be honest, I was never the person, like, when I broke up with someone, I didn't delete all of the stuff or stop. It was like, look,
you just move on.
We're moving on. We're all adults. Right. I'm still gonna like your stuff.
And they're so young. It's like, why? You know, it's not like
the world. Life is too short.
They weren't married. They don't have kids. It's like they're just having a good time.
And even if you're married and have kids, I think it's like, come on. You're telling me you can't just, like, grow up and just...
Let bygones be bygones.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the story of his relationship and all of that. Okay. And then most recently, he was, like, randomly seen with this girl in Dubai, like, during his winter break or whatever. He went to Dubai with some friends. I think this girl is just, like... trying to clout chase. Like, she was like trying to say, like, oh, look at me, I'm with it. Like, it was one of those things where, like, they're together and, like, she takes the picture and she's like, oh, see? Like, look who's here with me, like, whatever.
But it wasn't like he was fully engaged.
No. I think that this chick, I think, is just like, oh, like, he's rich, famous, whatever, F1 driver. I'm gonna post a picture with him and tag him, and then people are gonna follow me.
Or maybe he, like, will actually... like, be semi-interested and have my way in.
Right. But then after that, it's like, I haven't seen anything about this girl, so I think she's just a...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's single.
Yeah.
All intents and purposes.
Okay. But, back to Lando in the sense of, he always has cool relationships with his teammates.
Yeah. They're always super fun.
So now, leading into our next driver.
With Oscar, like, I hope that they can...
figure out some...
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be different because Lando was always with an older driver. Right. And it was always like that driver's taking them under
the wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's
He's going to be the old. I mean, Oscar's 21.
Oh, gosh.
He's 21 years old.
Younger.
Lando's, like, obviously more experienced. It's going to be his 5th year. He's been around. He's done this. Like, Oscar's just starting in F1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
But Oscar had a good race for, was he not, who did he fill in for? I thought he filled in.
No, he didn't fill, that was Nick.
That was Nick. Yeah.
No, so Oscar, before getting picked up with McLaren, which that was that whole drama of like, so he was
that
the
was
Alpine,
so like
that was good.
I don't even know
that was top tier.
Who messed that up at McLaren.
Yeah,
but they need to be
right. I know.
I don't even know
whole
what to
announcement and everything.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
You want to talk about
he was the Alpine reserve driver.
Yes,
and Alpine like kept on kind of like throwing him around and whatever. And then whenever Fernando said he was leaving, they tried to quickly announce Oscar as like, he's going to be our driver.
Yep.
And then Oscar, like on the back end, had a whole deal getting worked out with McLaren. So
rightfully so.
Right. Like, yeah, I mean, you got to look out for yourself.
Yeah.
And like, they were kind of like tossing him around, which he won F2 the year before. So like, I mean, he's a good driver and like has like a lot of skills, and he's like, I want to drive, like I don't want to be a reserve driver again. So he was in the background like making a deal with McLaren, but of course like didn't tell Alpine this because there's no need to. I mean,
the only person that should know is your agent, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, because I mean he's making moves making moves to benefit himself.
Well, and if you don't have a contract,
right,
what does it matter?
So literally like signed something with McLaren the day after I think like his Alpine contract was done, and didn't like just quietly was like, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
So they make this announcement, and then he takes to Twitter and is like, I will not be driving for Alpine, and like made that tweet, and it was like trending and super crazy like that he had posted that.
Yeah.
But then it came out he was going to be driving for McLaren, but like McLaren couldn't say he was driving for them until they released Daniel.
Exactly, because Ricardo, his contract wasn't up yet, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I think made it all like
it was
crazy.
It was crazy. It was drama, and then like to your point, it's like McLaren, like they basically were trying to like have their cake and eat it too. Like
exactly.
They hadn't ended the deal with Daniel.
They could have told Daniel by that
They
point.
could have told Daniel. And then
maybe
like,
Daniel did know, and maybe he was just hoping to change their minds or something.
Something was going on. But like when you look at the dates of like when that Alpine announcement got out and when his contract was done and like when he signed the contract with McLaren and when somebody at McLaren came out and said, or I think it was Daniel himself, was like, I will be driving for McLaren.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it was after the fact that, like, Oscar had already signed the thing. It was messy.
It was very messy.
It was messy. There was drama. And
I can't wait to see all of that play out on Drive to Survive.
That's going to be good on Drive to Survive.
February 24th.
Really good. Yeah, for sure. That's going to be drama on there.
I can't wait for that episode.
I know.
Okay.
It's probably going to be multiple because that was a lot.
It was a lot. Okay, so Oscar.
But
he made the final decision to be with McLaren.
Right. And so now he's going to be with them next year, and he's caught a lot of like criticism for this already, and I think he's got a lot of people that are like looking at him being like, okay, what are you going to do? Like, you better produce, he's probably has a lot of pressure is my point.
So does every driver.
So does everyone.
I was like, no.
So does
I'm
everyone.
Sorry. Like, doesn't matter. Lando probably has more pressure.
Right, because Lando's also
been there
got to
5
like
years.
show that he's a great driver.
Yeah, and that he
with
can,
this young gun coming.
Well, not only that, but that he can show that he can move forward.
Right, and like be the team leader, and like hopefully this guy doesn't overshadow him. I mean, fingers crossed.
And hopefully, like, I mean, I'm sure McLaren's like, they want to be number 3.
Right.
That's what they
want to move up. I mean, all
that's
these
insane.
teams just want to like improve year over year. Improvement.
Exactly.
Is the goal.
Exactly. Okay, so he's 21.
So outside of all of that drama with his contract and everything, he's really like kind of private. Like, he doesn't really post a whole lot about, like, his private life of, like, what he's doing.
Oh, just wait.
He's
now
gonna
that he's
have
a
to.
full F1
He's
like
gonna have
driver,
to. And I feel like McLaren is a very, like,
open book.
Throwing these drivers out to be, like, social media.
Yes.
Get the engagement. Get the fans. Like, you need to be likable. So, like...
Yeah, it's a brand.
Yeah, and, like, all... Like, you know, they do all those videos, like how you were saying with, how Lando and Daniel were always, like... They do, like, a lot of little challenge videos.
Yeah, and they were throwing the basketball, trying to make it...
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they do a ton of that stuff. So, if he does not have a personality...
That's not going to work.
It's not going to fly.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to have a personality.
Yes.
Which he totally might have a personality.
We just don't know yet.
We just don't know. We haven't seen it.
Exactly. So this year,
we don't know.
It's on Oscar.
Yeah.
Pressure's on from that side.
Right.
Not just performing on the grid.
He might have more pressure to be, like, sharing of his life and, like, more of...
Yeah, I think it's more off the grid pressure.
Right. Than, like...
Versus Lando has more on the grid pressure, I think.
To produce and perform and all of that.
Exactly.
But outside of that, so he's dating Lily, who, again, I mistaked Logan to be dating Lily, but it's actually Oscar.
Yes.
And then also, too, with her, like, there's not a whole lot of information out there. So we'll see if she shows
young,
up to... Yeah, she's young. I think she's British.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll have to see if she shows up to the paddock and what happens.
I know.
So
we'll have to see on F1 TV.
Yeah.
Because they always do the better behind the scenes.
I know, yeah. And all the interviews and stuff. So
yeah,
it's exciting.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, that's McLaren.
It is. I said it is like 7 times. So
it is.
Recap.
Yeah.
Number 5 on the grid.
Right.
Hopes to move up
to be number 4.
We got a new driver.
I think they can do it.
I think they can
I think they can do it.
I think so too. But new driver, cute Lando.
Cute Lando, little brother.
Oh, yeah.
Love him.
Oh, and we are, next episode. Come on.
Our rankings?
Our rankings.
Our rankings. Those are
drivers.
coming. Those are coming.
So,
and then we'll be talking about Alpine.
Oh, I know.
Alpine
is so
next.
crazy.
Yeah. Which that one's going to be exciting too. That might be spicy.
I know.
We'll get into that.
I know.
But yeah, so I think that's it.
I think that's all I have on.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot. It's a lot of good information.
So you wanna wrap us up with our...
So this has been Queens of the Paddock, an F1 podcast.
And we have Alex.
I am Alex.
I'm Courtney.
She is Courtney. Brunette and a blonde.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so you can listen to our podcast anywhere that you listen to your podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of the things. And we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube. You can listen with video on Spotify and on YouTube.
Okay, and comment.
If you want to look at us and our chaotic energy, you can watch it on there. But
comment. We want to hear. We want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, we're telling you our names because somebody commented that they didn't know our names. So hi.
Yeah.
But yeah, rate, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your mother. I also want to say, so I've been saying my mom has been, like, watching us, and it's actually my dad.
Oh, my goodness.
And my dad corrected me and was like, you know that it's actually me watching your, it's not your mom. And I'm like,
funny.
Oh my God. So thank you, Dad. Thank you for watching.
Well, maybe we need to, like, bring him in.
Yeah.
Because he's really into racing.
He is. We should do that.
And your mom already got, like, her.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. She got her cameo.
I know.
So we'll call my dad and we'll get him to be a little guest speaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
We love it.
Good. All right.
But yeah. Oh, and we're on Instagram at Queens of the Paddock.
Oh yeah, and don't forget to see Alex's little recaps.
My visual aids.
They're great.
If you will.
So, all right. See you next time, and
that's it. Thank you.
Lights out and away we go.
Oh, I like that. We should end like that.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh my God.
That is actually